Louisville, Kentucky, Kelly Bryant had time to read the defense, allowing the Clemson quarterback to make good decisions and crisp throws. Heisman Trophy-winning counterpart Lamar Jackson didn't get that same luxury for Louisville. That stark difference paid off with a decisive victory for the third-ranked Tigers. While Clemson held Jackson in check for most of the game, Bryant accounted for 3 touchdowns as the Tigers routed number 14 Louisville 47-21 on Saturday night in an Atlantic Coast Conference showdown. Clemson's first-year starting QB completed 22 of 32 passes for 316 yards, all career highs. Bryant also rushed for 26 yards including an 8-yard TD to get the defending national champions started. They never let up against the 2016 Heisman winner. "All I was trying to do was do my job. Nothing more, nothing less," said Bryant, who also rushed for a 1-yard TD. "We could have done better, but I did everything the coach wanted me to do." Jackson passed for 317 yards and 3 TDs, but most of that came with things already in hand for Clemson, 3-0-1-0 ACC. The Tigers' Dorian O'Daniel returned an interception 44 yards for a TD and a 26-7 third-quarter lead, and they sacked Jackson 4 times. Jackson had TD passes of 11 yards to Charles Stanberry, 36 yards to Jalen Smith and 8 to Des Fitzpatrick. But the junior struggled to throw and run all night for Louisville, 2-1-1-1 ACC. The Cardinals were outgained 613-433, saving face somewhat with the 14-point fourth quarter. Jackson carried 17 times for 64 yards and broke the ACC career record for rushing yards by a QB, which turned out to be a footnote on a night that belonged to Kelly and Clemson. "We just didn't play our game today," said Jackson, who was 21 of 42 passing with a 78-yard completion. "We came out, we weren't scoring points. The offense did a horrible job tonight." At number 1 Alabama 41, Colorado State 23, Jalen Hurts passed for 248 yards and 2 long touchdowns and rushed for 103 yards to lead Alabama past Colorado State. The Crimson Tide, 3-0, dominated early and emphatically answered a comeback attempt before outlasting the Rams, 2-2. Hurts delivered his best all-around game of the season. He ran for a 27-yard touchdown and hit on a career-long 78-yard scoring pass to Calvin Ridley and a 52-yarder to Robert Foster. Hurts completed 12 of 17 passes and mixed in 11 carries before leaving late in the third quarter. It was his second straight 100-plus-yard rushing performance. The Tide needed just 10 minutes and a few big plays from Hurts to race to a 17-0 lead. The first quarter stats were utterly one-sided, with Alabama outgaining Colorado State 216-11. At number 2 Oklahoma 56, Tulane 14, Baker Mayfield passed for 331 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Oklahoma followed its impressive victory at Ohio State with a win over Tulane. CeeDee Lamb caught 4 passes for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns before he was ejected for targeting on a block in the second quarter. Marquise Brown had career highs of 6 catches for 155 yards, including an 87-yard touchdown grab in the fourth quarter for the Sooners, 3-0. The Sooners and Green Wave were tied at 14 in the second quarter before Oklahoma's Parnell Motley returned an interception 77 yards for a touchdown to turn the momentum for good. Oklahoma extended its nation-leading winning streak to 13 games. Tulane, 1-2, scored on its first 2 drives and never scored again. Dontrell Hilliard ran for 104 yards and a touchdown to surpass 2,000 yards rushing in his career for the Green Wave. At number 4 USC 27, Texas 24, 2 OT, freshman Chase McGrath kicked a 43-yard field goal in the second overtime after hitting a tying 31-yarder on the final snap of regulation, and Southern California rallied for a wild victory. Sam Darnold passed for 397 yards and 3 touchdowns to help the Trojans, 3-0, surge to their 12th consecutive victory. Christian Rector forced a goal line fumble by Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger in the second overtime before McGrath coolly ended it. After 55 minutes of defense-dominated football, both offenses erupted late to create a pretty decent sequel to these powerhouse programs' last meeting in the landmark 2006 Rose Bowl. Ehlinger passed for 298 yards and led a 91-yard go-ahead TD drive late in regulation for the Longhorns, 1-2, who were narrowly denied a huge win early in Coach Tom Herman's debut season. Ehlinger hit Armanti Foreman with a 17-yard touchdown pass with 45 seconds left, but McGrath tied it on the final snap of regulation after Darnold drove the Trojans 52 yards in about 30 seconds. Deontay Burnett caught a 25-yard touchdown pass from Darnold on the first snap of overtime, but Cade Brewer caught a short TD pass to cap Texas's first OT possession.